Ashin Paul. On graduating from engineering college, he joined the fastest growing unicorn, Musigma Business Solutions, as a decision scientist and grew into the role of managing multiple engagements for over many Fortune 140 customers. He has been the Toastmaster for over 7 years and is awarded the Distinguished Toastmaster, the highest educational award in the movement. He founded 2 Toastmaster clubs and has been mentored over 100 Toastmasters globally. He set out a soul-searching journey in 2019 which landed him at Isha Yoga Center, Coimbatore, founded by Sadhguru Jagiya Vasudev, as a volunteer for 7 months residential program involving 800 participants over 32 different countries. So today we have ASHIN Paul to discuss his journey throughout his Toastmaster, and along with the Toastmaster he would share his journey through the Isha Yoga Center. So let's get into the podcast. Today we have Leti, one of my close friends, and one of a special guest, Ashin Paul. So welcome Ashin Paul to our channel.
Thank you, Aswin. Thanks for the invite.
Okay, so Ashin Paul is an public speaker and he's working as a data scientist as profession. So we have Ashin Paul to speak about his journey throughout the Toastmaster profession. So Ashin, can you tell me what is your Toastmaster and what is it about?
Right. Thanks, Ashin. Thanks for the question. So Toastmasters International is an international forum to improve your public speaking and leadership skills. So it was set up the year 1924 in Santa Ana, California. So like clubs you would have heard, there is a Rotary Club, which is there all across the world. So you can start your own club in. You have like 20 people who are interested in public speaking and leadership. So there are 2 kinds of club. There's a corporate club and a community club. A corporate club is for employees of a certain company, a corporate company, because it helps their employees start a club within their company. Whereas a community club is for any community. Anybody can start, but you have to be a major, above 18 years of age to be a part of that. So it's people staying in a locality who are interested to be part of that club. So it's like any other photography or a dance club where people with a certain passion come together and learn from each other. But there's a structure to it. So you do a few projects and all of that. So basically, anybody who wants to improve their leadership and communication skills can go to a Toastmaster club and get it done. So they have weekly meetings and there's an entire structured process to do that. So that's how it's working.
Okay, so it is a platform where all the clubs are together and they start working on different topics or different insights, right?
Yeah, more around communication and leadership skills improvement.
Okay, fine.
My question towards you is, I am a person who was never aware of what a Toastmaster is. Like a normal, a student who would have studied in a normal school, okay, in a state syllabus. So for me, something called as Toastmaster is something new for me. Okay. So how did you know about this? What made you a Toastmaster?
Right. That's an interesting question because I'm somebody who started speaking at the age of 7. Not in life on stage. I mean, I started speaking in life much before that. So I started speaking on stage at the age of 7. I was not new to the world of public speaking. I spoke in my school and my college used to represent a lot of contests. But when I really came across, so I came about the word Toastmasters in a book called The Magic of Thinking Big. And I never knew there was a club in my vicinity if I could join that. The author said it's about personality development. The author says to improve your personality, you can join a club called Toastmasters Club. Now, I didn't know back then, and this was back in school. I think I was in 11th or 12th. And it so happened that when I started doing my engineering, one of my friends was very active in a movement called Toastmasters, and I hadn't connected these two back then. So he said, why don't you just come over? And I used to contest in elocution and debate competitions back in college as well. So he saw the interest, he saw my interest in public speaking. He asked me to come over to his club, which was in RT Nagar. It's called Sunshine Toastmasters Club. So I went over, and I was a room full of 20, 30 folks who are really interested to do this. I liked the meeting. It was really energetic, positive vibes that I got from that room, but it was too far. I stay somewhere near Vidyaranapura, Yelahanka, and it was not really possible for me to travel all the way to RT Nagar every week. A few months later, this friend of mine, his name is Apu. So he calls me up and he says there's a club that's being started in Yelahanka. So I call up the folks in Yelahanka, the club, Toastmasters Club in Yelahanka, and the rest is history. So I joined the club soon after that. I've been a member for last 8 years. So that's how I got to know about Toastmasters.
Okay. So, Ashin, if we talk about the Toastmaster, like in Bangalore, are there any institutes that provide training for Toastmaster?
So, like I said, it's a club. Anybody can start Toastmasters club if you attain a certain conditions. For example, you need to have at least 20 members to start a club. Okay. So if you can gather 20 people, you can start a club. And then you will have to pay fees to the Toastmasters International. There's a little bit of procedure for that. And so a lot of colleges these days are recognizing, a lot of corporates and colleges are recognizing that it's important that the students and their employees are part of it because it helps them become a better version of themselves. So a lot of clubs, a lot of colleges started clubs. Some of the really old ones, like a lot of B schools in Bangalore have Toastmasters clubs. If you have heard of CMS in college has a Toastmaster club, that's pretty old. Amaya Institute of Technology has a Toastmaster club. I think a couple of colleges in Mysore have a Toastmaster. Engineering colleges in Mysore. A lot of MBA colleges have Toastmasters club. So colleges are recognizing this, and I think they're starting clubs in their respective colleges. And I think a lot of clubs are also coming up, from what I understand. Yeah.
So, Ashwin, my next question to you is like, public speaking is not everyone's cup of tea. Okay. And I remember you in Jam. Like we have fest that happens in youth, and just a minute, and you will be there for Jam and elocutions and all those things. Like that is the time that I started to understand, like, yeah, this person is really good at his words. Okay. So what made you, like, you read a lot of books and things, what made you a better version of what you are right now?
All right, so thanks for that question, Letty. So that's a very long answer, to be really honest. I think it's a plethora of a lot of factors that just go together that help you grow as a person, right? And well, you brought up the point about public speaking. I got into public speaking at an age where I did not know what is public speaking, where I did not know what is stage fear. I just got pushed into it. When I was in my kindergarten, my class teacher, I think, just handpicked me, and she was like, I don't know what did she see in me. I was always this tiny boy in the class. So she handpicked me, and she gave me a script. And I went ahead, and I don't remember what the speech was at all. It was almost 2 decades ago. So that's how I got into Toastmasters. And then when I changed schools, I came to Bangalore, and my class teacher in second standard, Kushan Sudan madam. So she was the one who, I think she saw a spark in me, and she used to, she took it upon herself to really push me and give me such opportunities to speak on stage. So I think that's very important as kids. If you can, at least what I'm trying to do right now is to support and help kids expose themselves to various kinds of things, not just public speaking. I would say get yourself introduced to a lot of things. It could be music, it could be dance, it could be art, drama, it could be public speaking for that matter. Start getting the youngsters to just get into or experience various opportunities. And I think life will take you through a track where you will define your track yourself. You will understand what are you really
Mm-hmm.
good at and what's your really metal and
Mm-hmm.
core strength, right? So I think life
Mm-hmm.
will mold you in that direction slowly, but what's really important is you put people in positions where they have such opportunities to explore some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And you pointed out I'm somebody who reads a lot of books. To be honest, I don't read a lot of books. I don't have the luxury of time to read a lot of books. So right now, what I do is I just there's Audible. There are a lot of applications that you can just plug into while you are doing something.
Mm-hmm.
You can listen to. So I
Yeah.
use Audible to do some of that. But reading books is one aspect of things. It helps. I'm not saying it doesn't, but watching movies can help you. Listening to
Mm-hmm.
podcasts can help you. Just
Mm-hmm.
checking out things on YouTube, good videos on YouTube can help you. What's really
Mm-hmm.
important as kids, I don't think we although kids are a lot more tech savvy today than adults are, they have
Mm-hmm.
exposure. I think giving those opportunities or at least exposure to kids is a starting point, which worked for me. I think I want to continue to do that, and I hope we continue to do that for the next gen.
Okay. So, Ashin, usually when we speak about this Toastmaster, was there any situation you felt like you should give up on this? Because really, if we talk about Toastmaster and clubs, starting a club and forming a group is really difficult. So, was there
Right.
any situation where you felt you should give up?
Right. So, Ashton, I think I don't
Yeah.
remember a situation where I thought I should
Okay.
completely leave Toastmasters because I always saw value in the organization, right? But when I
Mm-hmm.
started off in the club that I said in Yelahanka, it's called Resonance Toastmaster
Okay.
Club, we were hardly
Mm-hmm.
a handful of people. We were 5 or 6 of
Okay.
us who were just very
Mm-hmm.
passionate about coming together and learning something from each other every week. And like I said, we need
Mm-hmm.
about 20 people to start a club. It took
Okay.
us 2 years. In 2012, we started putting the club together. We
Mm-hmm.
chartered the club officially in 2014. So
Mm.
it really took
Okay.
us 2 years to get there. And we had a lot of challenges and hurdles. There were times when we really thought, okay, we were just 3 or 4 of us who came together. And in fact, when you go to a club, there is an entire executive committee that runs the club. And there are a set of
Mm-hmm.
roles that every person has to take up for every meeting. You walk into any club in the world, the roles are similar.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a
Mm-hmm.
president in a club, then there is a vice president. There are three vice
Mm-hmm.
presidents. There's a secretary. There's a
Okay.
treasurer, right? But we were
Mm-hmm.
hardly 5 or 6 of us. So some of us had to double
Okay.
team and we had to do multiple jobs at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
I think those initial phases where we thought things are not easy.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of challenges at us, but we did not give up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I think that definitely was a foundation for me because
Mm-hmm.
I was really stretched in various directions. I pushed my limit a lot at that phase.
Mm-hmm.
So those 3 or 4
Okay.
years really made
Mm.
the character in me and gave me the foundation. And I think post that I did
Mm-hmm.
not have to put in so much effort because my foundation was set. So
Mm-hmm.
that was one phase where we thought there were challenges. But then again, like I said, for 3 4 years in Toastmasters, you think things are becoming monotonous. I'm not learning something new.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the time you
Mm-hmm.
think maybe I should check out something else. I should
Okay.
be honest and tell you that there was a phase like that. But I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people around me, I think, just pull me out of that and help me see a lot more opportunities. Most
Mm-hmm.
often, it's just that you don't see those opportunities. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
you don't recognize some of these things. There is always
Okay.
things to learn. It's like how they
Mm-hmm.
say, teacher will
Okay.
appear when the student is ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I saw that there is a lot more opportunity in the organization and in the community around me. So I
Mm-hmm.
think continued, and today I think 8 years into the movement.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
My question to you is that, as I told, in everybody's life, there is someone who has always motivated us in one or other way. It might be a teacher, it might be a friend, it might be a beloved or parents or anybody. Okay? For everybody, there is one sort of spark that comes in their life. For you, who is that spark?
It would be a big injustice if I just name one person. Uh, Again, like I was saying, uh, you end up meeting various people at various points of time in your life. And I think everybody leaves something with you that changes you. It's up to you whether you want to take that or not. If you are observant enough to take something that is going to change something in your life. So there are a lot of people. In fact, I have about 7, 8 mentors right now who I always am in constant touch with. I keep talking to them about a lot of things. So I think a lot of these people have helped me. But somebody, like I said, who started giving me that opportunity or identified a spark in me would be one of my class teachers, like I said, in my second standard, Christian Sudan Madam, who thought, okay, I think I'm going to take it upon myself to make this little tiny boy find something in him. So she picked me up, and she put me on various opportunities and stages in front of people where I could speak. And I think I discovered the art of speaking through her. So she's one of the first people who identified that in me. But I think, like I said, a lot of people later have contributed towards it as well.
Okay, Ashin. So you told like you started participating in various events from the age of 7, and you also did various parts, right? And you also told that there were so many people who helped you in your career and who helped you to grow. But can you tell me, like, or can you tell the viewers how to find a right mentor?
Right. So that's a very good question, Ashwin. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's very important we find somebody who has walked that terrain before you, who can guide you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's only
Yeah.
when somebody has experienced that terrain, somebody has experienced that path before, is
Mm-hmm.
when they can actually ideally guide you in that right direction. So, how do
Mm-hmm.
you really go about finding a good mentor? It again starts with getting yourself exposed to various platforms, networking with a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people, meeting a lot of people in various places. And not that's not just one place, right? Say if you take
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Toastmasters as an example, you go to a club which has about 20, 30 people. But then there is a
Mm-hmm.
hierarchy about a club. There's an area division, so it just goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a
Yeah.
lot of events that happen outside a club where you network with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
important you start networking with a lot of people. Put yourself in places where there are very interesting events happening. If you stay in a city like Bangalore, there are a lot of events happening around you. Just that
Mm-hmm.
right now, since everything is shut because of
Yeah.
Corona, I think everything is online. Still, you will find a lot of platforms where people with a lot of
Mm-hmm.
different interests come together. The information
Mm-hmm.
is not at all a handicap today to understand where are these things happening, right? So I would say
Mm-hmm.
start by planting yourself in some of these communities, in getting exposed to some of these clubs and people
Mm-hmm.
where they are passionate about a lot of things. Just put yourself in such situations, and you will find people
Mm-hmm.
who are like really inspiring. You look up to them and you're like, I want to be like this guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
when you see such people, you walk up to them and say, "Hi, my name is Ashin. I really
Mm-hmm.
like what you said. I really like what you do. Can you please guide me
Mm-hmm.
or mentor me in what you're in this?" And I
Okay.
will take almost 90 to 95% of the time, they will be more than happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
In little rare few cases, I think people might say, okay, I don't have the time or maybe I don't have the bandwidth to do it. That's okay. You will
Mm-hmm.
find somebody else. But firstly,
Mm-hmm.
place yourself in such situations where you can get exposed to a lot of these things. You
Mm-hmm.
will identify a lot of people who are inspiring, walk up to them and ask them,
Okay.
"Can you help me out?"
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest and best way, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
You told me that you have many mentors, like near to 8 mentors in your life. So is that the way that you found Isha Foundation? Because I know that you are into Isha Foundation. And is that the way that you found that he might be your mentor?
Sorry, he's Sadhguru. Are you referring to Sadhguru?
Yeah, it is.
So, and nobody, none of my these 8 mentors that I told you about were the ones who introduced me to Isha. So I got introduced to Isha definitely through YouTube videos of Sadhguru, where I was really fascinated by what he says. And it's not often I see some of these
Okay.
videos of religious leaders or spiritual gurus on YouTube, but there was this man who had stark clarity about what he's saying. I think that attracted me a lot, and I think he's pretty good at articulating things that is not very easily comprehensible. So that
Hmm.
attracted me. I think his clarity of thought was something that I was really appreciative about.
Okay.
So that actually got me thinking. Okay, if he's doing something, that should be worthwhile. And I think how I really got. So I knew, okay, he's running an organization called Isha Foundation and all of that, but I was never inclined towards going and doing a program. It was
Hmm.
really in the year 2018 where somebody from the Isha Foundation had come down to our office, and they said
Hmm.
there's a program called Inner Engineering that's happening. So
Hmm.
I registered for that, and I went for the program that happened in Bangalore International Exhibition Center. It was a mega event with 10,000 people attending it. So Sadhguru is
Okay.
the one who leads that.
Hmm.
I attended that and I was just mind blown with the way they conduct the program.
Hmm.
I think all of spirituality and all of that just was just bonus that came later, but I was just uh, mind blown just with the scale and things at which they conducted the program. So I was
Hmm.
quite fascinated by it and I wanted to know a lot more about the organization. And I happened to go to the ashram, the Isha Foundation
Hmm.
headquarters in Coimbatore. So a few
Okay.
months later, I happened to go there, and I think
Hmm.
that really inspired me a lot about the foundation. So I went and enrolled for a program which was like for 7 months. It was a residential
Okay.
program for which I went and stayed there.
Hmm.
So that's how I really got to know about Isha Foundation and the work that they do. So it wasn't like
Okay.
really any of my mentors who pushed me towards it. It was again a combination of a lot of factors that led me towards it.
Hmm.
So if your question also was around a Sadhguru, my mentor, I don't know if he's really my mentor. Uh, I think words will not do justice to articulate what he's done to me.
Hmm.
I think he's just changed me inside out from what I had
Hmm.
gone through. That was a very
Okay.
good experience. Yeah.
Okay, Ashin, the final question for this particular podcast to end. So, I would like to ask you, like, when I did a small research about you, I came to know that you're doing yoga practicing. So, is yoga practicing a part of a club, or is it not a club and is it something else?
Right. So yoga is something, yeah,
Hmm.
as Indians, I don't think we are alien to the concept of yoga. But I
Hmm.
think yoga in itself is very wrongly communicated in a lot
Hmm.
of forums. There's a lot of misunderstanding about yoga. At
Hmm.
least in our schools, I think there are a lot of opportunity for us to start doing a little bit of yoga. There usually is your physical training teacher who leads
Hmm.
a yoga session in your schools, right? So I studied in
Yeah.
Kendra Vidyalaya. Every Wednesdays we used to have some drill or something, and
Hmm.
one of those sessions was yoga. But I
Okay.
think that really didn't make an impact in me. For me,
Hmm.
yoga really happened when I went to Isha Yoga Center.
Hmm.
So I started doing this practice, which is part of the inner engineering program, which is for 21 minutes with a few other
Hmm.
practices. It goes out to be 30 minutes. So
Okay.
I thought 30 minutes in a day was a long enough time for your personal health. But
Hmm.
as I started doing this program, the 7 month residential program, there came a time where towards the end of the program, I was almost practicing for about 5 to 7 hours in a day. And I used to
Oh,
sleep
okay.
for about 4.5 hours in the night. So that's
Hmm.
when yoga really hit me, and it changed so many things for me, and I really understood doing the value of being on the path of yoga only after that
Okay.
program.
So thank you, Ashin, for your giving your wonderful time for our section. So we'll be dropping down his handles on to the description down, so all the viewers can follow him up on his Instagram as well as all the other channels. So thank you, Ashin.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for being here today. The thing is, like, it is creating an open mind for people to accept certain things in life. Okay. And you have actually, I think you will be an inspiration for at least few to know more about you and to be a better person, I feel. So thank you so much being here today.
Thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure. This
Hmm.
is really good stuff that both of you are trying to do, and
Hmm.
I think if you can really touch one person who is new to this entire concept, I think the purpose is done.
Hmm.
Right? So
Yes.
really glad that
Yes.
you invited me for this, and I hope I could share a few things that few people can learn from. So all the very best, and thank you so much for inviting me, both of you, and letting me talk.
Okay, Ashin. Finally, what would you like to tell to our viewers who are planning to start the career with Toastmaster?
So Toastmasters is not a career. Uh,
Hmm.
like I said, it's about your passion. It's about your inclination to learn and become a better version of yourself. So,
Hmm.
but I would definitely say if you start getting in yourself involved in Toastmasters, and if you dedicatedly work towards it,
Hmm.
it will definitely help your career have a big boost. I have experienced it myself in my career.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if it interests you, I think you should start exploring. Go to the website
Hmm.
toastmastersinternational.org.
Hmm.
You can just Google it. That will take you to the website, and wherever you are staying, you can put a distance filter, so it will filter out all the clubs in your vicinity, and you
Hmm.
will find the contact of the club members. You can just give them a call and ask them what time do they meet, and they can share the Zoom link or the location if they are meeting in person. So you can just coordinate
Hmm.
with them, go as a guest for a few meetings for any of these Toastmaster meetings, and then you would understand if this is really a platform where you can learn, it's something that interests you. Then you can actually
Hmm.
think about taking up a membership there.
Okay.
That's what I would suggest.
Okay. Finally, thank you, Ashin, for your time. So we hope that we'll be doing another session, episode 2, for the upcoming insights about your Isha Foundation and other things which you are doing. So thank you.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you again, and stay safe, all of you,
Yes.
and all the very best.
If you liked our podcast, make sure you give it thumbs up so that it will encourage us to bring the future contents. And please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel PlanetPedia. Till then, stay home, stay safe, stay tuned.